Hey, guess what? What?
It is I, RipX! Hey guys, what's up? RipperX here. Well, let's talk about the latest DayZ Standalone news. Again, for any of you that don't tune into Dean Hall's dev blog, I'm going to read from it a little bit and show you guys some of the latest pictures. I'm also going to add delicious music to make your visual and listening experience pleasurable. Hopefully. Hopefully it's not too pleasurable. If it is, send me a private PM. Heyo. Now, there's been so much going on with the development this month, it's hard to fit it all in one post. Now, through the month, they have moved from working on the architectural changes through preparing the first stage of the public test. The risks and gambles they took last year are now beginning to pay off. Now, the following update is going to be covering a couple different things. Let's talk about lighting and material improvements, volumetric cloud system, new server architecture, clothing inventory status, closed test status, art world updates, customizing your character, and customizing your weapon. Okay, let's talk about lighting and material improvements. One of the lead artists, Mario Kutri, has been working with some of the Arma 3 artists to ensure that DayZ Standalone has the best visuals possible. This result is pretty striking when combined with some of the other improvements they have made in the engine. These improvements make the world easily come to life, improving the visuals overall. Obviously, that's a good thing, guys. A comparison screenshot is included, and I will show that to you as you're watching this video. We're going to be going through the latest screenshots that they've released for us to see. Next is the volumetric cloud system. I love clouds. Seriously, one of my favorite things in a game, and one way for me to tell if a game is good or not, is if the cloud and the sun and the moon and all the pretty stars, if they look really cool and they make you tingle inside. As Dean Hall was saying, running around the world taking pictures, it was really hard to resist. It adds a real sense of realism when compared with the previous result. Let's talk about the new server architecture. Now, the lead programmer, Andre Spinell, continues his work on redeveloping our server architecture. That's what Dean says. Contrary to some who say DayZ will be releasing with no anti-hack mechanisms, one of the key things they are doing with development is entirely redeveloping how the engine works. Now, Dean says, I can't stress this enough, just how fundamental this change is. DayZ's game servers will function like servers in other MMO-style games. This is the server that controls the behavior and will be sending a lot of the updates. No longer will your machine receive all the updates, allowing their analyst by various cheats. Now, they are exploring spawning all zombies and loot at the start of server installation. Again, a huge departure from the previous mechanism. Now, this solves many of the design and technical issues with spawning and respawning of equipment, such as being able to metagame by telling whether players are in a village by seeing zombies have spawned. Obviously, in the DayZ mod, if you went into a village and zombies were already there, you knew someone was around the area. It's going to be changed. Let's go to clothing and inventory status. I just hope they have pink panties implemented. All I want is pink. I want to run around in pink panties with a machine gun or a sniper rifle. That'd be pretty epic. Maybe some cool sunglasses as well, and like a cool goatee, like bleach blonde goatee. Maybe a gold chain. That'd be awesome as well. But if sometimes gold chains can be heavy. It could make my character slower. So again, who knows? All right, clothing and inventory status. This has now been completely revamped to a basic level. You can put on and drop various items of clothing. These items can have diseases on them, and they have durability and other attributes. Let's talk about the closed test status. Now, they have begun their internal closed testing. Yes! And have been working with Valve to ensure the new server browser system is working. They're going to utilize Steam for this purpose rather than GameSpy for Arma 2. The client server architecture needs to be fully implemented before they begin their public testing. Again, that's really good news, guys. Closed testing has begun. That means public testing will begin, well, hopefully soon. Now, they have not initiated their closed test that includes external people yet, obviously, but that's going to happen in the near future. Okay, let's talk about the art world updates. A huge quantity of changes are flowing into the world. New areas, a mass of new objects such as wrecked vehicles, buses. Also saw a plane that looked pretty cool, like a wrecked plane. Like a 747 Boeing or something like that. Anyways, they are all designed with DayZ in mind. It is really impossible to list all the changes here, from bug fixing to redesigning of buildings such as a general store, and onto entirely new buildings and areas. One of the texture artists have been going through existing work and making them look more damaged and used. Let's talk about customizing your character. The design has now really ramped up. This is really the entire focus of their efforts for the next few months, prior to starting on vehicles customization and finally on base building at the end of the year. This obviously was a starting point for them to allow players to select the gender and race of their character. Beyond this, allowing ways for your character to become your own are key. It's important for them to do that, basically. Obviously, you want to customize your character. You can get tattoos, apparently, unique clothing items. There's other things to do to customize your character uniquely. Now, Dean says this is an area of very active development. They're exploring all sorts of ways to make your character change in the world as you play. When you first create your character, the options will be simple. As you go along in the world, your character will change as a result of their interactions with the environment and the decisions you make through items such as clothing choices. Now, social aspects are extremely important to them. They've been taking a number of ideas and participated in the discussions on Reddit and the forums about what they could do in this area. Expect more on these areas in the next Tumblr update. We want to support the organic development and operation of groups within the game, Dean says. All right, let's talk about customizing your weapon. Weapon attachments are a great byproduct of the entire redesign of every aspect of the inventory system. Nothing is available to show on this yet. Currently, the only attachment they have fully configured in the game is the magazine. You must load the magazine with ammunition, and then it will be considered an attachment to the weapon. The quantity and condition of your magazines will be particularly important in the standalone. Okay, look after them, he says. Now, when is it releasing? They don't know still. They are still taking their time. I think that's a good thing. Dean says, I feel fantastic about the situation, more than I have ever felt before. Now is not the time to rush things, but they do need to ensure their pace is kept up. And testing as soon as possible is obviously a priority for them. Concluding words. In conclusion, the risks they took with the direction have paid off. The engine and approach of the game is now entirely DayZ's own. It is striking out into its own territory as a project. This is obviously very exciting for not just the team, but for all the fans, including myself out there. We know that things are going good. That's a great sign. One thing Dean says he needs to caution is it's a bad idea to overhype the project. Last but not least, he says now we will be able to make the game that we've always wanted. Well, guess what? I pooped myself a little bit because that is delicious. If you guys have any questions, comments, any new information that I missed, feel free to write a comment below this video. I hope this helped any of you guys that haven't read the latest updates from the DayZ Dev team. And again, I will be keeping you guys updated with the latest and greatest information and news for the DayZ Standalone because, my goodness, it's going to be one of the best games of the year when it does come out. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is RipperX. I will see you soon.